Hello and thank you for joining me, Joe Unwin, also known as FlowJoe, on another video on Microsoft technologies. Today we are looking at the Microsoft Designer. What is it? Why is it so awesome? And also, how do we create shareable prompts? And that's probably what you're here for. But firstly, if you do not know, Microsoft Designer has been released recently. And what it does is it allows you to generate images. It allows you to modify images. It allows you to generate documents such as cards and things like that, all using AI from OpenAI, such as DALL-E and GPT. I'm sure you've all heard of ChatGPT. It has a similar feel, but it's generating images instead. So how does it work? Well, when you go on designer.microsoft.com, or if you've gone onto Google or Bing and search for Designer, Microsoft Designer, or anything like that, you'll get a link to this particular page. Now, it's going to say, what do you want to create? And you can enter information. You can click on an image, which is what I've done here. I've basically said generate an image, and then it will generate an image for you. But what I recommend is you clicking on this Designer Home tab at the top. And then from here, you're going to be able to select the particular type of thing you want to do. So in this instance, I'm talking about the image creator, but you've got your design creator. You can erase content, remove backgrounds, blur the backgrounds, create a brand kit, all of these different type of things using AI. But let's focus on the most awesome part of this, which is the image creator. So if you click on this generate button, what it's going to do is it's going to open up this link. And this is the image creator, and obviously it's in preview. You're going to have to sign in with your Microsoft account. So if you've got an Outlook.com email or a Hotmail email or anything like that, just sign in. It's all free at the moment. And what you can do is you can then enter a prompt. Now, what are we actually going to put in here then? And what does this mean by prompt? Well, let's go over to my site. What happens is when you go onto the site, it's going to ask you for an input. So you can have an input like this, where you say a 3D Mal with a happy smile, standing at an angle, wearing an Arsenal t-shirt with brown oval eyes, short back and sides, dark brown, thick hair to the side, pretty much what I've got right, holding a soccer ball. And then it has text of 3D rendering, typography, illustration, painting, photo, poster, and 3D rendered. What does this mean? Well, this part at the back here is telling the image what it's going to look like, right? So it's saying it wants the text to be 3D. It wants it to be a typography. It wants it to be an illustration with a painting feel. It wants it to be a photo-like experience as a poster, and it ought to be 3D rendered. But then it's got the actual inputs. So what it's going to say is it wants it to be a 3D Mal cartoon, a happy smile, standing at an angle, and all of this information that you're providing at the beginning is actually telling it the type of styling that you want to go into it to match what you're trying to create, as well as obviously the additional stuff on the end. So if you haven't seen recently on LinkedIn, there was this huge viral post around this. Like, everyone was generating 3D cartoons of themselves. And this is actually the prompt that was used. And this is what I used to create my one, because I support Arsenal. So I just was like, okay, well, let's try to see if it works with an Arsenal shirt. And I had a soccer ball under my arm and all that type of thing. And it worked amazing. And I was really surprised at how well the detail and the text and everything came off. But what I had to do was I didn't actually have to write all of this. I just had to provide certain areas, which is what this particular image here is. It's allowing me to put a noun with an adjective as the smile, the color of a particular body garment, and then the eye color of a particular shape, hair length, hair color, texture, style, holding a particular object. So it's a lot easier for me to just enter the information on these particular things rather than worrying about all of the words around it. And then everyone has the same look and feel cartoon of themselves, but obviously it looks like them based on the information that they provide. So how was this done? Well, let's take this and let's actually see what happens when we generate this particular one. So this is what I generated before, and as I mentioned previously, I didn't actually enter all of the information. I just provided the Mal, the the happy section here for a smile, standing at an angle where it says wearing a, instead of putting a color, I put Arsenal and then I just put shirt in the garment. So I didn't actually have to put color, but you can put different words. But these are kind of like guidance prompts, right? These are allowing you to create a template based on a prompt. So this entire section here is a prompt. It's prompting the computer to do something. So you're providing all of the information in your prompt, but what you can actually do is you can create templates around that prompt to allow individuals just to put the specific information that you want them to put in. So why is this great then? Well, this is particularly great if you're working with teams, if you're working with the general public. Let's say you're a YouTuber like I am, and you wanted individuals to create cities like I'm based in Vancouver, Canada, right? And I wanted to see where everyone was from. I could get everyone to generate a particular one about their city, which we'll go into in a moment. But you can connect with those individuals as an icebreaker as well in a particular meeting. Let's say you've got a big Teams meeting on Teams or on Slack or anything like that, right? You go in, you're all at the start, you'll just share a link. People can then just type a couple of keywords in, generate an image and show it. Everyone's already talking and it's already starting the meeting. Amazing, right? But what it also allows you to do is it allows you to create a consistent look and feel throughout your particular generation of your utilizing AI to generate your images, right? So if you want to create a prompt using certain things like 3D rendering, typography, illustration, all of that type of stuff consistently, let's say for your PowerPoint presentations, then you can actually generate a link that you can continuously use, and you only have to change a few things. Then you can generate a nice looking image for your PowerPoint presentation. So there are so many uses for it, right? But there you go. It's created me wearing an Arsenal shirt, and you can see how good the detail is. So let's open this one. It's actually got the Fly Emirates. It's got the Arsenal logo. It's got the soccer ball. It's got the hair over. It's got the big eyes. It's got even my big eyebrows, even though I didn't tell it to do that. So who knows how it got that. But as you can see, it's got consistent like look and feel, right? It's all 3D. They're all at a particular angle. They're all smiling. They've all got the brown eyes. It's got the hair over, and it generates a lot of images for you. Now, if you don't like the particular one it's generated, you can just hit generate again and it will go through and generate a lot more. Okay, so that's how it works, but how do we get these inputs? Well, how we get these inputs is, actually what we'll do is we'll start with an easier to use prompt. I'm going to come into here and paste this, right? So what I've got here is I've got create an image representing a city, Vancouver, Canada, country, based on its culture, its food, its sports teams, which is the Canucks in hockey, and its historical events, nature, etc. And then I've got all that text 3D rendering stuff at the end to keep the consistent look and feel. Now, if I generate this, it's going to generate me an image based on Vancouver in Canada, as well as the Canucks, and it's also going to get that same look and feel as I said before, where I've added the text 3D rendering, the painting, the poster, and all that type of stuff, right? But what I'm going to do then is I'm going to want individuals to put their own city in. I'm going to want individuals to put their own country in, and I'm going to want individuals to put their own sports teams in. Now, obviously, I need to then create prompt template where these particular three words here have an input field. So how do I do that then? Well, let's take a look at what's come back with Vancouver. So it's got the Canadian flag, it's got the Canucks logo. It looks really nice, right? It's got all of the general look and feel with the mountains and the seagulls. All of this is pretty Vancouver-like because we're right on the water. It's beautiful here, right? So I'm going to hit download, and what that does is it just downloads it to my downloads folder, and I've got the full size image that I can use. But how do we then generate a shareable prompt off of this? Well, what you do is you click onto this box and it opens up this big, huge area that you can then change your prompt with. But if you click share here, it's going to say you can share this as a prompt template. So if you click continue, it's going to then say select the variable fields. Now, what does this mean? Well, if you select Vancouver, this add a custom field now becomes accessible. So if you click on that, it's going to put the square brackets around the Vancouver. But it's not going to be very informative if I leave it as Vancouver, because if I send this link now to someone, this prompt, it's going to say create an image representing, and then it's going to have Vancouver there. Now that's not what I want. I don't want people to put Vancouver in, right? I want them to put their city. So I need to make sure I remove that and type city. And then the same with Canada. Like, they could be in the United States because I work with a lot of people in the United States. So I could say country. And then the sports team, I can then highlight that. And then rather than Canucks, because then people will be thinking hockey, they could be thinking soccer, American football, anything like that, right? I can highlight that and then just put sports-team. So now when I share this with an individual, they're going to see create an image representing a city based on a country, and then based on its culture and everything, and then the sports team. So if I click next, I'm going to have a link so I can copy. So if I click copy link, I've now got that link that I can share with anyone. And I'll be able to share this with however many people over and over and over. And what they'll actually get when they see that is they'll get this little pop-up here. So I'll see create an image representing a city. So I can use Vancouver. Let's try something different. Let's try Calgary, right? It's in Canada. And their sports team is the Flames, the Calgary Flames, right? So what I can do now is I can generate with just 3 words exactly the same look and feel image that I've done previously on Vancouver, but for Calgary now, or anywhere else in the world. I could use Hong Kong, China. I could use London, England, anything like that. So let's hit generate, and then that's going to go through and generate based on just those 3 user inputs. And that is how easy it really is to create a shareable link for Microsoft Designer Image Creator and have your particular inputs be as informative as you want to whoever you're sharing this with. But let's just wait and see what we get back for Calgary and then compare them. So as you can see here, we've got Calgary, Canada, we've got eagles there, we've got the Canadian flag, we've got bears. There's definitely something in Calgary, and then you've got like all of the different types of things. Now obviously, as I mentioned before, right, sometimes you'll get things that aren't spelled correctly. You can just hit generate again and it's going to go through and generate you a new image. But if we look at this compared to what we had with the Vancouver one, it was very, very similar. And it's the same type of look and feel based on that. And that is how easy it is to use Microsoft Designer, as well as create a particular prompt template for it. Thanks for joining me on this video. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you want more content on anything Microsoft, hit the subscribe button as well. And I'll see you next time.